Hello, it is Saturday, June 25th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is the Saturday puzzle today, which means our second of two themeless puzzles, and possibly the most difficult puzzle of the week in terms of straightforward difficulty of cluing. We'll have to see. This potentially difficult edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Camtron, Jake Rodkin, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the inimitable Connor O'Neill. Thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for directly supporting this channel and making this series a sustainable part of my daily work. Thank you so much to all of those patron benefactors and also all of the other patrons at any level, all of whom have access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the Patreon channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, such as the weekly Friday speed solve, in which I solved the last week of New York Times mini puzzles quickly. That went up yesterday. And of course, if you back as a benefactor, like those five mentioned at the top, you get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug. So thank you to everybody who has backed at any level on the Patreon campaign. And thank you if you've subscribed to the YouTube channel. That's a helpful thing to do for myself and for you as well, for different reasons. And you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field underneath the video to that and the Patreon campaign, which will grant you an extra channel in the Daily Solve Discord chat server if you're interested in that, but otherwise it's free. Okay, let's get on to the Saturday puzzle. This is a themeless crossword, as noted, and it was constructed by Adam Aronson. Name I remember vaguely. It has done about a dozen New York Times crosswords to date, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. There's no theme, so nothing to... Oh, there's sort of an interesting shape in the grid, though. It sort of looks like a radially symmetrical wave arrangement or something. Anyway, Texter's preamble. It could be something like IMHO for in my humble opinion, or OTOH for on the other hand, something like that. Branch of the U.S. military launched in 2019. This is the Space Force, I do know that. So let's now use that to get some crosses, like some book reviews. Not sure offhand. Like the grammar police, pedantic? Sort of the defining characteristic of the grammar police, I suppose. Succession co-star Ruck. I do actually happen to know this because I really love Succession. Alan Ruck. I think he plays Connor. I could be wrong about that. Place for, I just recognize the name. I remember the name. Place for a handprint, maybe. Cement, maybe? As in the Hollywood Walk of Fame or something like that, in which celebrities have their handprints memorialized. I'm not sure, though. Oh, probably, maybe it is. Soap in Mexico. This means a soap opera, so a serial television program. A telenovela is what those are called. A Spanish language soap operas from Mexico. Heel, e.g., could be the end of a loaf of bread. So the e.g. means heel, for example. So obviously heel doesn't, it's not strictly synonymous with end, but it's an example. End of a bread is an example of something we'd call a heel. Kind of loop in programming. So a for loop is a sort of loop in programming. How would one explain this easily? It's sort of a way that you can repeat a block of code until a given condition has been satisfied. Anyway, bit of an obscure one for the crossword. Pioneer of elegies. Ovid, perhaps? I suppose wrote elegies and is considered a pioneer of elegies. That wouldn't have been something I would have pulled out of thin air, but with the crosses, that seems plausible. Let's look at this. Best actor nominee for 2019's Marriage Story, Adam Driver. There we go. This is coming together very quickly. This is feeling easier than yesterday's so far. We'll have to see. Gun could be rev up, maybe, as in an engine. You gun an engine, you rev it up. Unblocked could be clear, as in a passageway is unblocked, it's clear. Blank voting, early voting, perhaps. And here we have dual purpose, and what investigators do, they might pry into your recollections of a given event or day. Provider of a lift, a crane. A crane literally lifts things up. Like some book reviews are starred. Yes, okay. So some book reviews may have, well, some book reviews have a number of stars out of, say, 4, but some book reviews just have either no star or a star if the book is particularly recommended. I think that's more common in book reviews. King in The Return of the King. I'm not sure. I mean, this is the Tolkien book and movie adaptation, but I don't know the name of the king. In Germany, it's Krautsalat. Coleslaw? Seems like a plausible guess. Rapper with the 1999 #1 album, I Am. Is it Nas? That's my guess. And source of protein in a poke bowl would be ahi tuna. And what they said could be that. Maybe you just sort of say, that. What they said, that. And Apple selection could be so probably the Apple computer. Could be iMac or iPad or iPod. It could be any of those, really. Here we have pop singer who came out as non-binary in 2019. Unsurprisingly, I don't know this sort of relatively current pop culture thing. Sam, there's a singer named Sam something. I don't know. Apple selection. Well, if it is Sam, this is iMac, and that's very plausible. So let's try it and see what happens. Stick on in a way. Could be tack 2, maybe? I'm not very confident about that. Play things with belly badges. I don't know. Don't the Teletubbies, I never actually watched the Teletubbies, but don't they have sort of things on their stomachs, maybe? Actually, but I don't think there's any tea that would fit with the Apple selection, so let's just keep looking around. Campsite. What would one see at a camp? A cot, maybe? Doesn't seem very convincing. Slayed could be killed it, maybe? Both in a literal and metaphorical sense, if you sort of killed it with a, stand-up routine or something. Chugged with down could be gulped down. Stretches for a swimmer could be laps. You do laps as a swimmer. Singer and actress Carter. I don't know. I mean, Sella would fit there. I don't know if that's a person. Lectern locale could be a dais. And a bit of mendacity could be, a sin maybe? Supermodel Alec, I don't know. A lie, maybe a bit of mendacity. Singer, actress Carter. Nell Carter? What about this? Performer in both the Winter and Summer Olympics in different sports. Interesting. I certainly don't know that offhand, but I'll be curious to see what it is. And what about this? Surname of a star-crossed lover. That would be Capulet from Romeo and Juliet. The Montagues and Capulets, or the warring the feuding families. Cold case. An ice pack, maybe? Sort of taking a bit of a guess there. Let's look at the crosses. Texture's preamble. So maybe it is, after all, IMHO, in my humble opinion. And soft soap. Is that what refers to sort of a routine, sort of routine you would do? You do your routine, your soft soap? Something like that? I'm not entirely confident. Let's move on. Coveted object. And a dream within a dream writer. Poe? Is that Edgar Allan Poe? Line at Disney World. So line, I think in this sense, means line as in a railway line or a public transport line, a monorail, is what I suspect this is. And to go in prepared is to have a plan. Right, there we go. That fits the crosses very well. Competitor of Stridex. What is that? That hose, maybe? Is that what Stridex is? I'm not sure. Soft, coax. And coveted object is envy. So Oxy is the other brand here, perhaps. Coveted object is envy. You can say the object of envy. Would you say that is the coveted object? That is the envy. It feels correct, but it's not a sense that I encounter frequently. But I do think it's probably right. Okay, Sam Smith, is that maybe the person? Maybe. A squabble could be a spat. I'm going to put in Smith and see if the crosses are helpful. Talk, talk, talk. Yammer on, maybe? And why, yes, indeed. Not sure. What about this? Mess around with, toy around with is a very plausible fill, I think. So maybe a campsite is, after all, a cot. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I don't know why. Place where shells are put away. Shells. And there's a question mark here, indicating a bit of pun or wordplay. So what in here is being punned upon? What else do we have? Ralph the dog and Robin the frog for 2. Well, I don't think I know Robin the frog, but Ralph the dog is a Muppet. And since we're referring to both of them, not just one of them, this is a plural clue, so Muppets. Why, yes, indeed. And standing at home, say. Up to standing at home, say. Oh, up to bat, I see. Standing at home plate in a baseball game. And what about this? Oh, stick on in a way. Oh, tape to, there we go. What did I have? I had something stranger. Oh, I had tack to. I think I was thinking of sort of sticky tack or blue tack, that kind of thing. Playthings with belly badges. Well, it's certainly not Teletubbies. Not that that would have fit anyway. Care Bears? That was another thing I was never really familiar with, but I think they do also. Oh, maybe they have hearts on their, I think they have hearts on their stomachs. Maybe that's what that is. Belly badge, I guess. Okay. Chains of churches. Chains of churches. And few. Not many. A very straightforward interpretation of few. Classic Vans sneaker model. I don't know. I actually wore Vans sneakers as a teen, but I don't think I know the answer to this. What about this? Abandoned ship. Maybe not many is not right. Not many, not right. These things just don't. Abandoned ship. Maybe it is right and I just don't recognize the phrase. Brand name on Cakesters snack cakes. Here's another thing I don't think I've ever heard of. Cakesters. I don't think I know that. Poke alternative maybe, or poke alternative maybe? No, I think it's poke, because it's pst, as in to get somebody's attention, an alternative to physically poking them. Catchy song in modern slang. Oh, that's a bop, people say. That's a real bop, a catchy song. Oh, abandoned ship is to bail. Okay, so this wasn't not many, it was not a lot, few. So sort of equally straightforward substitute for the word few. Oh, brand name on Cakester snack cakes. Is it Oreo? Oreo Cakesters, I guess, is something. I don't know what that is. But here I have occasion to point out this little bit of knowledge about the New York Times crossword, which is that over the course of the history of the New York Times crossword, the word Oreo is such a frequent, it's such a useful answer that it's been used so frequently that a rule has been instituted that if a constructor is to incorporate Oreo into their solution grid, the clue must be unique. It must have been never previously used to clue Oreo. And I suppose that's why we've ended up with this reference to a different product, brand name on Cakester's snack cakes. So there we go. Okay, what was this again? Chains of churches. Sorry if this is really jumping out at you and I'm not seeing it for some reason. I don't know, it's probably very obvious. Oh, why yes indeed would be quite so. Chains, oh, rosaries. Oh, and I just had a different, I had spat, oh, squabble, spar. Oh, interesting. So here's a case where I let my assumption about the part of speech of the word lead me astray. So a squabble can be a noun, which is what I had. Those people had a bit of a squabble, a bit of a spat. But squabble can also be a verb. Those two people are squabbling. They're sparring, verbally sparring. So there we go. So rosaries are chains of churches. This doesn't refer to a sort of a sect or denomination or something like that, but rather to physical, so prayer beads that are used in Catholicism, in particular rosaries. The rosary is the string of beads used for prayer. Okay. No wonder that gave me some trouble. Oh, this looks like taqueria, place where shells are put away. I have a big slight exception to this because shells, I think of hard shell would sort of imply a hard taco. And I have to say, that's not really something that exists in legitimate taquerias. A sort of a real taqueria would never have a hard shell taco. They would have soft corn tacos, really, really exclusively. I've never really actually encountered a taqueria that served hard tacos. You'd have to go to a sort of chain like a Taco Bell or something to find that, but I don't really think of that as being a taqueria. That's sort of a fast food Mexican restaurant. It's not really the same thing. Anyway, I don't know. That's just, as someone who grew up in Southern California and then spent most of my adult life in San Francisco, that's my bias there. Anyway, what comes before a bet? What comes before a bet? Oh, aleph, because bet would be the second letter in the Hebrew alphabet, followed by aleph, the first letter. There we go. Very clever. A bit of misdirection. Draw. I'm not sure. And here we have, oh, it's the performer in the Winter and Summer Olympics. I just don't think I'm going to know who that is. I'll have to infer it from crosses. Certain curtain. A drape, maybe, as in drapes over a window. Where snorting isn't rude. A sty? A pigsty? Pigs would snort, and that's not considered rude. Not sure. Taking a bit of a guess. Party consideration. And cause of an uprising. An uprising with a question mark. So uprising, presumably, oh, yeast, right. So cause for bread to rise up would be the yeast, is the rising agent in bread. Very good. Course pro. Course pro. And here we have, oh, grow up. Be, maybe act your age? No, be, I don't know. Comment from one who's moved on. I'm so over it? No. Oh, no. I'm so over, oh, maybe that, no, sorry, I can't spell the, for some reason, there's something about this double O that's messing with my brain. Anyway, I'm so over it. And look, here we have our inflated O2 from earlier in the week. Unrelatedly, of course. So this could be the answer. 2020 thriller in which Jessica Chastain plays the title role. Ooh, I have no idea. Darn, that would have been useful to confirm or deny the V. Low call could be a moo, because, I mean, lowing is a way to literally refer to a cow mooing, so that could be the answer. Violetta o Rosa. I don't know. Presumably, I don't know flower in Spanish, but I wouldn't have thought that would have fit here, but I don't really know Spanish, so that's not helpful. Draw. Oh, lure. You draw someone towards you. You lure them towards you. Okay. Oh, something mature. Oh, grow up. Something mature. Be, I don't know. So immature, but then yeast would be wrong. That's not right. Oh, performer in both the Winter and Summer Olympics in different sports. Skater. Is that what it is? As in, I don't know what, roller skating or skateboarding or something like that, as opposed to ice skating? Is that what that's implying? And then here we have supermodel Alec Weck. I'm going to have to assume that's correct. I think I honestly actually may have encountered that in a crossword before, so it may be the case. What about this? They include satellite cities. I was going to put the R here from skater, and they include satellites. They include satellite city. I don't know, sort of metro areas, or they include satellite cities. This is interesting, this double RAS. That's surprising. Really getting some resistance here at the end. Certain curtain. A scrim? Scrim is sort of something you can put over something to modify the amount of light that's coming in. Does that work with this? They include satellite cities. Oh, it is metro something. Oh, it is metro areas. Isn't that what I said? Why was that wrong? Oh, maybe this isn't skater. Oh. Oh, no, sorry. No, it was, I spelled lore incorrectly. I'm very sorry. think I did something like this earlier this week as well. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so Ava, I suppose. I don't think I know this film, in which Jessica Chastain plays Ava, I guess. Okay, so maybe this is Scrim, after all. That was helpful. Oh, grow up, real mature, I see. So it's not someone actually telling someone to grow up. It's someone reacting to somebody seeming not grown up. So it's oh, grow up. You're saying it exasperatedly. Okay, party consideration. A themed party. And a course pro could be a chef. Here we go. So here we go. Violeta, rosa, or flor, must be flower. There we go. All right. I do think, although I had some trouble in this corner down here, I honestly do think I found this to be a bit of a smoother, easier puzzle than yesterday's. There were still a fair number of proper nouns, though. I have to say, that's been a week for them, I guess. We had Adam Driver. I mean, Space Force is technically a proper noun. Oh, Aragorn. I never looked back at this. Oh, King and the Return of the King. Aragorn. I thought he was the sort of ranger character. Maybe he becomes a king. And Space Force, so right, Space proper noun. Adam Driver is a proper noun. I mean, telenovela, so not necessarily a proper noun. It is a generic term, but it's a pretty specific one. Poe, proper noun. Aragorn, Capulet, Naz, Nell Carter, which turned out to be right. Weck, Alec Weck. Oreo is a brand name, proper noun. So really quite a few this week. Oh, Sam Smith, forgot about the Downs. Yeah. Ovid, there we go, another one. Oxy, a brand name. I don't know if there have been more of these recently or if I'm just becoming more aware of them, of that as a sort of thing that affects difficulty, generally speaking, of a crossword. But there seem to be quite a few recently, I would say. Anyway, let me know how you fared with this Saturday crossword by Adam Aronson. I did find it a bit smoother than yesterday's, I do think. And so with that, we can move on to clues from yesterday's puzzle, which I am going to do, but which I mean I'm going to do immediately, because I think there were quite a few, actually, as there were maybe yesterday as well. So let's see. Josh Lucas explains Drake's record label, OVO, is short for October's Very Own, a reference to his birth month. All right, simple enough. Thank you, Josh Lucas. Jacob Green, this was right. This was the clue. It was something like Simpsons character whose name had some number of letters. I don't remember. Anyway, Jacob Green explains, Apu Nahasa Pima Petalon is his full name. He was voiced by Hank Azaria, who also played Chief Wiggum, Comic Book Guy, Snake, Jailbird, Lou and Carl, and Bumblebee Man on The Simpsons. And I think there was some sort of thing in which the voice actor was changed recently to maybe an Indian actor. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't quite follow it, but something to that effect. Anyway, Patrick Van Brunt says Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers made their first flight, is in North Carolina. But the brothers grew up in Dayton, Ohio. This led to the competing slogans, First in Flight and the Birthplace of Aviation, which can be seen on many license plates from the two states, respectively. And the Birthplace of Aviation was the Ohio-related clue to which this is referring. And Aaron Gallagher replies, as a North Carolinian, I will die on the hill that we are first in flight. Seems fair enough to me, if that's where they actually did the flight. Jen Smith explains Meghan Markle's Something Borrowed comes from the wedding tradition where the bride wears something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Her something borrowed was a tiara loaned to her by the Queen for her wedding day. Thank you, Jen Smith. And GTDP says, some more poker terminology, my favorite. This was referring to the blind in yesterday's puzzle. Antes and blinds are both mandatory bets made before the start of the hand. The differences are that A, blinds are only paid by 2 players per hand, whereas antes are paid by all players, and B, blinds are part of every poker hand, whereas antes are not always present. Often they are only introduced after the first few hours of a tournament or on higher stakes tables. Interesting. Definitely didn't know that. Thank you, GTDP. HRI5 explains the reason UK numbers start with +44, that's the UK's international dialing code, is because of the days of mechanical telephone exchanges. It was convenient to split the world into 4 broad areas. 1 for USA, although I think North America, because I think Canada and Mexico are the same. 2 for Africa, 3 and 4 for Europe, etc. These were then further divided according to the capacity of each network: 33 for France, 44 for the UK, etc., and further still for smaller countries: 353 for Ireland, 354 for Iceland. This method ensured no more than 11 digits were dialed, including this code. Thank you very much for that, HRF5. I'm sure I've looked that up in the past and completely forgot and wouldn't have been able to re-explain it, so thank you. Asylum Runner 8 explains maybe what was the most baffling clue to me in the puzzle. The sorority squat is a semi-pejorative nickname for a pose commonly associated with sorority girls, in which you sort of put your hands on your knees and stick your butt out to the side. So there we go, thank you. Joe Zichterman says, an interesting historical tidbit about Trans Am, which was clued in 19 across. It wasn't meant to describe a car that could travel across America. The Pontiac Firebird, with the original Trans Am vehicles, was named directly after a race series that ran from 1966 to 1972 called the Trans-American Racing Series. The name Trans-American just meant from around the country, an event meant for car manufacturers to show off their newest cars for national television and compete in competitions. The name Trans Am, in reference to the car, was just meant to evoke the notion of high performance. Interesting indeed. Thank you, Joe Zichterman. And that's that after that marathon of corrections from yesterday. Apologies to anybody I missed. It was quite a volume today. So with that, we'll bring this video to a close. That was the Saturday video, the Saturday puzzle, the Saturday edition of the Daily Solve. I will be back, of course, tomorrow for the Sunday New York Times crossword, which might be a little bit easier than today's and yesterday's, but will be an extra large grid, so might take considerably longer. That does tend to be how it goes. So I hope you have plenty of time set aside on your Sunday morning. Hope you join me. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.